Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Madden and I am a traditional artist here on YouTube. Today we are going to be finishing up Sketchbook 17, which again has been put off for forever. I cannot wait to start my next sketchbook. Oh my god, it's taken me so long. This is what I plan on using for my next sketchbook. It's a sketchbook I made, and it's made from recycled paper bags, like grocery bags. So, very interesting texture. So I'm very excited to start this one. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, so this is Sketchbook 15. I think the last video you saw it, I was starting it, so I've done a great job of doing Draw With Me's. I love this first page, and part of me wants to do something related to it, but I actually have an idea already planned out for once. This is a character this is not a very good drawing of him, I was just testing out colors, but this is a character that I've kind of developed in this sketchbook, and I love him a lot, so I'd like to make a nice piece with him. So let's see if we can't find him. Alright, so here's the first time I drew him. It kind of sums up his personality. His name is Zephyrus, by the way. He does have a tail. I really like his color palette. It just makes me very happy. A slightly bigger one, I was still developing what he looked like, so I don't like his face. I think I want him to have less sad eyes, because I don't think it suits his personality very well. Otherwise, I do quite like this one, actually. And then for some reason in this one I inverted his hair color, so the small chunk is pink and the larger one is peach. I don't know why I did that, I don't like it. Also, this is not like a good this is not a good piece. I messed it up, or something went wrong, and I didn't like it, so I just like played around with layering about 1,000,000 different art supplies on it, so it doesn't look good, and that's fine. But yeah, this is my general idea. And then these are kind of the colors I'm thinking of using. I'm gonna use my Sharpies, but also whatever I want. I've got this like toned down retro version of his colors that I want to use in the background a little bit. But since this is going to come out around Valentine's Day, if I get it edited in time, I think it would be kind of nice to try and make a sort of Valentine's themed illustration. I thought about having my other demon pinup replace him for this video, but I really want him for finishing this sketchbook because he was designed for, or this piece was designed for this really long sketchbook. I totally forgot his tail on this one. So this is the page we're going to be working on. I really have no idea how I'm going to film this, but we're just gonna deal with it. I think I can show it to you on a diagonal, and then in the end, I'll zoom out and show you the whole thing. How does that sound? I think that sounds okay. I think I'll try and get him mostly in this upper space and just have like the ends of his legs and his tail at the bottom, and then I can have my traditional the end piece down here. I think that sounds good, because this is really long. I'm actually going to take a photo of this so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth to check the pose I wanted. I don't want him too high up, because I do want some space at the top. So I'm going to block off this part, and then this bottom part. I'm gonna tilt his hips back a lot more to make sure his legs fit. Alright, so I was struggling a lot more than I thought I would with the weird perspective I'm getting trying to draw this flat on the desk. So I did my usual and turned off the camera to sketch. I've never liked sketching on camera. I think I mess up a lot more than I would trying to keep the sketch visible to you and then also remember to do everything and remember that I'm at viewing this like really foreshortened. It's just bleh. So I did that the other day, and then I came back this morning and I was like, because I was really, really struggling with it, and came back today. I was just like, oh, okay, these are the little problems. So I've fixed a couple of those. Still not perfectly happy with it, but whatever. We're moving forward because that's what's important right now, honestly. But I am going to have you with me while I sketch in a couple of his finer details and his outfit, because that's not too hard to do on camera. So I'm just adding the little floofs over his hooves. Normally I go for like a really curly, long fantasy hoof floof. I don't know what to call it. But I decided to go like shorter for him, and I really like it. It's really cute. And I've added this little bit for the end thing. I'm not totally happy with it. I like my hearts a little chubbier. I feel like fixing it would be a lot of work, because I would need to line it up with the bottom of the page. I could try. How about I try on camera? That would be great. And then I really like this font I did for it, but it's too small. So we're gonna erase that. I don't know what it is, but like before I sat down to record, I felt fine, and now my eyes feel really like hot and dry. Designing him was kind of hard because the first one of these characters I did, I've decided finally on a name. I've decided to name him Eros, the Greek name for Cupid. Finally decided to name him after I designed this guy, Zephyrus. And I've kind of decided that I want to make a like set of them. I haven't designed any of the other ones yet. But like the first one was so easy. Eros was so easy because he was designed around a particular fashion aesthetic that I find really fun to look at. It's not really how I would dress myself, but I love seeing other people do it. And it's like very specific, you know? It's got like lots of red and black, and then, God, it's been so long since I did one of these, I'm struggling to draw and talk at the same time. And then also like pops of teal or pink or periwinkle, right? So, and then like I knew very clearly what like clothing textures he would wear, lots of leather, fishnet, heart motifs. He was just already there in my brain, you know? And then I designed this guy, and I didn't design him with a fashion aesthetic in mind at all. I was just like, ooh, what about these colors? He was entirely based around colors. And then I was like, I don't know what clothes to make for him, because I made him and I immediately had his personality just down. I knew exactly what I wanted his personality to be like, and it's very specific, and I wanted his outfits to match with that. And I just was kind of struggling, because the other guy, he's like leather, red, black, fishnet. You get the attitude that comes with that so easily, right? Whereas Zephyrus is sweeter and more just like cheerful, like I don't know how to describe it. Peppy, you know? He's happy, he's having a good time. He wants everyone to have a good time, that sort of thing. Eros is kind of like, I know you want me, but are you worth my time? Yeah, that's the big difference between them, and I wanted a style to suit Zephyrus's personality. And I was having trouble finding something. I knew I wanted him to be wearing like teal, because I thought that would contrast with his skin tone really well. Teal and blues, and I was thinking of like daisies would be a cute motif for him to wear, because they're sort of cheerful and cute. But yeah, I was just kind of having trouble finding stuff, and then I found this, and the original one is pink. I wanted it to be blue to suit him. He does have some pink in his design, but I'd rather keep that mostly as a pop here and there. I want blue to be his main color for clothes. Blue and white, mostly, because I think it just makes a good contrast with Eros. And I also wanted, like, I was thinking stars or daisies for his sort of motif. I'm pretty sure the original outfit also had a star-shaped belt buckle, so it just worked really, really well. He needed the perfect kind of balance between being hot and being cute, you know? I'm not totally happy with this. I don't really like this edge. Like, I could either make it look tight, which I think would add a better separation, but also, I think I'm gonna give it a cuff. I think I'd like it better with a cuff. Yeah, I like that a lot better. That's cute. That's cute. Okay. And then it had like, there's also gonna be a little wrinkle right there, but it had a line of studs going down this way. Nope, don't use that eraser. The eraser, I like cold erase pencils, but the erasers on them are just so evil. And I think I'm almost ready to move on to coloring, which should be a lot more fun, hopefully. Go over here and under this foot so that we can see this hoof better. I don't see any point in covering this up when the other one is also covered up. And then we get a better contrast of like, or a better rhythm of like behind, in front, behind, in front. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Okay. I think we're ready to start coloring now. I haven't done anything with the background, but I just don't really know what to do now. Because I was going to do this like rainbow ribbon thing originally, but then I wanted to redesign it to be Valentine's themed, and now I'm not really sure. But quite frankly, I really want to color right now. We can come back to it later. So let's see, I'm gonna need some scrap paper. I think this might be enough, but I might take a true red and touch up his fingertips a little bit. Yellow, and that's the only yellow I have, so it will have to work. Light orange, regular orange, dark orange. I mean, do I want to just skip to red? I don't know. Well, if I did, I would use this red. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip the dark orange. It's just too close to the red. I don't see much point in using it. Now, I'm not like an expert at drawing with Sharpies or alcohol markers in general. In fact, Sharpies are the only alcohol markers I've ever used. So I wouldn't exactly watch this video for tips on that. But I am reasonably confident when I do it. I would like some more Sharpies because my set is pretty old and I think they've come out with more colors since then. It would also be kind of nice if maybe I could get some like really pastel ones, because the Sharpies are all pretty dark. Like this is the lightest yellow, for instance. And so it can be pretty hard to do light colors. Obviously. I don't And this is where we start doing the fade. So I need to move quickly. Yellow. Light orange. And I'm not terribly fussed if this gradient doesn't turn out perfect. Like, I'm using Sharpies. Alright, I think that gradient turned out okay. We are back, and I think this arm turned out even better than the first one. Let's move on to the legs. I spent my time waiting for the camera to charge, labeling all of my Sharpies because they don't have accurate color labels. So, you know, productive stuff. Oh, and of course there's some sort of delivery van backing up right now, right when I start recording again. Very carefully go down. I actually want this extended up a lot more. Just the whole gradient, I think gets gets dark too like late on the leg. It has been actually quite gray today, and suddenly the sun is like, hello! I'm gonna do the back leg, and then I think I'm gonna, I don't know, see if I can't find a color that I like for shadows, and just go over the whole thing to kind of fade it into the background a little bit. See, I think I want to add his blue details now. He's got blue horns and hooves. Yeah, it's this one. Let's see. There we go. And then I take this dark blue and give it a little shadow. His tail doesn't get as dark as the rest of him towards the end. It just kind of goes to this orange. So, just do that. And I'm going over the whole thing in the yellow because I don't think the light orange is quite punchy enough. Oh, I figured out what's wrong with his tail. It's been bugging me. I don't really know how to describe it, but I've drawn it sort of rounded outwards, and his tail has all the shapes of it round inwards. Alright, if I fill in this heart red, will I even be able to see the letters? I'm going to go over them with gray, I guess. I think I'm going to finish coloring in his hair first before I decide what color this is going to be, because I really can't decide between red and pink. I'm having trouble making up my mind. So, his hair is, I think it's this color. I'm going to let that fade because it comes in really, really bright. And then the little streak is this color, because it's the only peach color. This is like barely gonna be in there. I need to erase this. I don't know why I didn't erase this before. This part of his hair clearly does not like work. I'm going to attempt to leave hair shine, but I'm not good at it. I really need to figure out how to color in light hair because it just doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes you just need to settle for it could be worse. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this one. Okay. And then I'm going to erase right here because I've decided that I really want this to be lighter. I think this is supposed to be a lighter blue, but no. Forgot to go back and do the belt. I wanted to change this a little bit. It's just a little bit, it feels a little light. I think I want it a little darker to contrast with his skin a little more. The trouble being that the next darkest color is this color right here for the light part of his horns, and that's a little too dark. So I'm gonna go over it with this color, which I think is called sky blue, but Who knows, because they don't actually put their color names on their markers. And I want to make this collar a little bigger. I think I made it too small. And then yesterday, after I stopped filming for the day, I got some mail I'd been waiting for, which included some new gel pens. And when I got them, at the time when I bought them online, the 3-pack with all of the colors was basically the same price as a single white gel pen from that line, which is the most expensive color because everyone uses it all the time. So I was just like, well, I'll just get all of them because it's almost the exact same price. So now I have a silver and gold gel pen from that brand as well. I'd never tried these pens before. I'm actually very impressed. But I will definitely be using at least the white one to add some highlights. But I might use the silver on his zipper and such. Although maybe I'll do gold. Gold might look a little better on him. There was supposed to be a video that came out before this one. I was supposed to be editing it while I was filming this one. I edited the whole intro, and then I got to the footage, the top-down footage, and none of it was in focus. So I'm gonna have to refilm all of that. Honestly, it's okay though. I think I rushed that one, and I think I could make it better. It is going to be a fairly interesting haul, though, so now that I've got the opportunity to shill it, stick around, subscribe if you want to see that. Just interesting stuff I got. Old art supplies, so if you're curious about that, like I said, stick around. I like this color a lot better with his skin tone. I talk so quiet, it actually strains my voice. It's a problem. Okay, and as I've been playing with Sharpies a lot more in my sketchbook, I've been thinking about getting more of them, which I think I mentioned earlier in this video. And so I was looking at the various sets that are available, and it turns out that my set is so old that they've totally revamped the 72 count set of Sharpies, and it's completely different from mine. It's got way more colors of the regular fine point Sharpies in it than mine did when it came out. And I had gotten rid of some of my Sharpies because they had dried out, so I was trying to figure out which ones I was missing and which ones had since come out from my set. And then I was looking at the original, or I was looking at the 72 count set and I'm like, wait, I don't have these, and I didn't get rid of that many. I can't quite remember what all the differences were, but mine came with like metallic markers and neon markers and a lot of the ultrafines. And I think the new one doesn't come with as many ultrafine markers, and it doesn't come with the metallics or the neons. It also didn't help that for the comparison, I think some of the color names have changed. Now, am I totally confident in the light source of this? Not really, but it's just a sketchbook thing, so we're just gonna hope that it turns out okay. Soften the edges a little bit. The legs I'm more confident in because I want to just like completely fill in this back leg with the shadow. This is not a technique I always do, but I see a lot of other people do it. I do it sometimes, but I see other people do it and I really like when they do it. I think for certain styles and certain illustrations it can have a very good effect. I think that looks okay. I don't really think you can see it on the red part. Let's try going over it with the darker purple I was considering. I think that helped a lot to make that look like the back leg. Now, yeah, let's try and do the scary part. I think that looks all right. And then Actually, I think this whole shoulder would be under shadow from his head and all of his hair. Okay. And then with the purple, we gotta be careful because we're doing the hands. We don't want to make the hands weirdly shaped. I think it's time to figure out what on earth I'm doing with this heart. I suppose I should go with like a gold arrow. I guess that makes sense. So we can color this in yellow. I think I want to go with pink because the red of his design is like right here. I think that might be more balanced, and then it'll be easier to see the words afterwards. So I just need to decide what pink. I think I'm gonna go with the dark pink. Alright. Markers are some of the only art supplies that come with a really good range of pinks, including other art supplies that are dye-based. Like, I understand why pigment-based art supplies don't tend to come with all that many pinks compared to some other colors in their range, because there aren't a whole lot of pink pigments. We've got like quinacridones and then a couple of others, really, when it comes to light-fast ones. But even low-quality art supplies tend not to come with a whole lot of pinks. And it's just very odd. And then you've got like markers, even like Sharpies, you know, which started as an office supply. And, you know, I don't even have the full set, and I've got like, what, even if I just count the regular fine point, I've got like 1, 2, I've got 8 different pinks. But then I've got this one set of their kids' art supplies. You've seen them on my channel before. The Koh-i-Noor magic pencils. And I love them so much. But there's only one pencil that's just shades of pink, when there are like 3 different all yellow pencils with 3 different shades of yellow, and then 3 different green ones where it's like green and blue, green and green, green and green again, but lighter, green and yellow, etc. Like, but there's only one pink one, and I just find that very odd. Because like flowers, I don't know, man. I think I need more than just the lightest, peachiest pink. I need to work on his face. What color eyes did I give him? I don't remember. Yeah, I just gave him blue eyes, which I think makes sense. It's like his only really contrasty color for his whole palette, so I think that makes sense. I will have to try and fix that with the new gel pens I got. Let me pull those out. Yeah, I had never tried this brand before, the Uniball Signo. They feel really nice to use, and this white is genuinely very impressive. They just look really, really good. So, like, I was a little resistant to try them because they're a little expensive, and something about really hyped up art supplies tends to make me go, But, no, these are just great. They're genuinely just fantastic. And it looks like they come with quite a bit of ink, which is good because they put out a lot of ink. I think this is balanced, but I do have my camera at a tiny bit of an angle, and I think that's making me think this is not symmetrical this way. I don't think I ever explained what I was doing here. I just stuck this under my old sketchbook so that it was more at a level with this end, because it's a very, very thick sketchbook, and this is like all weird, and this just helps a lot. I need to figure out what I'm doing for the background, because I am not coloring that all in with Sharpies. That is ridiculous. Okay, you know what? I think that looks pretty good, actually. It's been a really long time since I've tried to draw gold metal. I think I need to stop touching that for a while. I'm gonna darken these little star patches because I don't think you can see them well enough. The weather got absolutely crazy. It is super windy outside. It was supposed to rain a bunch. It hasn't really been raining. It's gallery walk tonight. And I totally forgot it was happening. So, you know, I'm doing a great job at keeping up with the local art scene. I got a comment the other day, and it said, it's on like an old video, and it says they subscribed just because of how sassy I was. And reading that, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm actually showing my personality a lot less on camera than I used to. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. I think it does line up with me feeling a little, I don't know. I've been having difficulty feeling really, really passionate about any of my project ideas lately. And honestly, for a little while. And I don't think that's like unusual right now, right? I think that's probably something a lot of people are feeling. Oh, shit. But I also think it's a little bit more than that. You know, I've just had a lot of stressful things happen in my life, and because I've had these stressful things happen, I'm gonna add some gray to this gold right here. Because I've had some stressful things happen in my life, I've slipped up in like taking care of myself in a couple of ways, and that's like this horrible self-fulfilling prophecy, because you stop taking care of yourself because you feel kind of crappy, but then you're not taking care of yourself, so you feel worse. And then it's harder to take care of yourself, and then so on and so forth, right? So I'm trying to get back on top of that. And I'm trying to get back to work, painting and making YouTube videos, because I really miss that. And hopefully, as I keep moving forward with that, I start to see some improvement. Also, some of that is just going to be that it's really dark out, right? It's really dark out, and I definitely get like seasonal SADS, seasonal depression, and that makes it very hard to get anything done. And it's just dark all the time, so I'm tired all the time. And it's hard to show up here with the kind of energy I'd like to when I'm feeling so tired. And then that's also a self-fulfilling prophecy, because like I feel tired, so I don't show up to my YouTube channel, to my recordings with the energy I'd like, and then I'm putting out YouTube videos that I'm not super proud of, and that makes me feel bummed out. And you know, it's just one of those things. I want to make these letters gold, but I'm just using the purple as like a shadow. So yeah, I'm just like feeling like that. I'm having trouble coming up with ideas for I'm not having trouble coming up with ideas, but I'm having trouble picking which ideas that I have that I want to work on. Does that make sense? Like, I have ideas, but then I'm a little anxious about which one I want to pursue, because, okay, but is this one a smarter decision? Is this one a better use of my time? So on and so forth, right? I'm just dealing with a little bit of a circle, a circular pattern of behavior right now, and I'm not really sure what to do about it. I'm trying, but who knows? Who knows what will actually make that better? I think I want the end of his tail to get a little darker than this, because it's just light orange for a very long time. Also, full disclosure, I'm really regretting picking Sharpies for this, because this is a very big piece, and while the colors are great, this is irritating my eyes, which is part of why it's actually taking me quite a while to record this. I have thought of a solution for the background. I have this ink color I mixed up ages ago for my fountain pen. I still have it, and I didn't want to waste it, but this will totally reactivate with water. So I'll pick something to go in the background, and then I'll paint in the background with this dark steely blue, and I think that will look really, really good, contrasting with these really vibrant colors we have going on here. I think I'm just going to go with some hearts. That just makes sense since we've decided to go with a Valentine's theme. Oh, speaking of hearts, I went to the fabric store ages ago. Not ages ago, but a little while ago. And I was like, okay, I want to learn to sew with stretch fabric. I want to learn to sew with knits. And so I'm like, I'll pick the funnest fabric that I find that is like a cotton knit, like a t-shirt material. And I'll learn to make underwear, because then if I mess up, like, so long as it's functional, it's still a successful project. So I buy like a foot, because you have all the width, right? So I buy it, I take it home. I still haven't sewn with it, by the way, but I keep looking at this fabric and it's like bright red with pink hearts, because I just thought it was really fun. And I'd seen this at the fabric store before, I'd liked it, but I was like, I don't really sew with knits. I don't know what I would do with it. But I'd committed to sewing something with knits, and I just picked the fabric that was the most fun to me. And I'm like, you know what? The longer I stare at this, the more I love this. I want like a long sleeve t-shirt made with this. I want a tank top made with this. I want a turtleneck made of this. Like, I want everything made of this fabric. It's so great. It had been at the fabric store for actually over a year. So this fabric has been at the fabric store for like well over a year, and it doesn't seem like anyone's bought any, or if they have, it's been like very small quantities. I haven't noticed the amount of this fabric going down, and I'm in there rather frequently. So it's been there for ages and ages and ages, and then I get a tiny bit. I decide I want more. I go back like 2 weeks later. It's gone. All of it's gone. It had all sold out in 2 weeks. It was insane. So now I don't have any more of that fabric, and I'm a little sad. And honestly, now that the trend for like red and pink is over, it's actually very hard to find fabrics with that color combination that are nice. Like, it's actually very difficult to find them. So that's a bit of a bummer. And now I'm like, you know what? I should just stick to buying a full 2 yards minimum. Like, if I'm committed enough to a fabric to buy it at all, I should buy a minimum of 2 yards. Just because I think I've had that happen a couple of times. There we go. I think those are cute. I'm going to do the ink background first, because I think that'll help me pick out which pink I use. I need water. And I'm gonna be pretty quiet for this because I'm like trying to work fast and concentrate. Why didn't I put any hearts here? I don't know. I don't know. Gotta go in and get this spot, which is so awkward. Just gonna paint over the hornets in the background. That's fine. Okay. Oh, right. All of this also needs filled in. Now it's all filled in. Not exactly what I thought I was going to do, but I actually quite like it. It's really pretty. I kind of want to go with this like really light color. Maybe we could even try to make them look sparkly. I've never tried to do that before. And the last one. Now, I've never done this sparkly technique, but I have seen people do it, and that, that's like basically the same thing, right? just like add a bunch of dots. I do wish I'd chosen a slightly less fleshy tone for the light pink. They look a little disturbing right now. There we go. Slightly ironic that I was complaining earlier about how the smell of the Sharpies was bothering me, and now I'm like, let me do the most tedious, repetitive thing that takes forever and leaves the marker cap off for forever. Great plan. I think it's time to stop. I think it's time to stop with the Sharpies. I think it's time to play with the gel pen. Let's see how well this works. Okay, that's super cute. Yeah, that's really, really cute. Oh my god. Okay. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. I don't always like every technique I see on the internet and try out, but that one's very cute. I don't know why, but for some characters I just end up throwing the normal way I style hair, or I stylize hair, out the window. Like, this is not how I normally draw hair, and I'm not very good at drawing it like this. In the original there were like these little decorative studs going all the way down. Although now it looks like I've just drawn it over his belt on accident, so that's great. I think the next step is line art, and I think I need a break before I do that. I typically like to use Sharpie for line art, but I am a little worried it'll be too thick, especially on the detailed areas, so I'm gonna try this, which is a Uniball Signo. I guess it's the same line as these, but it's like really, really fine. I'm gonna just start with the face, honestly. I just kind of want to get that part over with. Oh, it's been so long since I've used this pen to line anything. I think it's messing with me a little bit. Alright, is this the proper lighting to film an art video in? No, but I think it's kind of pretty, so we're just gonna live with it. I did all the line art for him, and I'm really glad I started with him instead of doing the background, because now that I've done him, I really, really like how the background is much more softly outlined than him. So I only outlined the arrow, and then I did the heart in a dark purple. And I think I want to do these guys in magenta. But first we're going to do some stuff with the white gel pen. Eye sparkles. There we go. And hope that this covers up the other pen. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I don't think I want it to go any darker than that. They're supposed to be in the background. I think I need to add some more shadows around his hair. Okay. I'm going to clean up, maybe wait for the lighting to become a little bit more stable, and then do a nice reveal where you can actually see the whole thing. And here it is in all of its slightly weird color combo glory. Sketchbook is finally done. Wow, this does not... There we go. This does not really fit on camera at all, which makes me grateful that I didn't do any other vertical 2-page spreads in this sketchbook, because that would make the sketchbook tour really, really difficult. But yeah, so just this one. This is the only vertical 2-page spread in the entire sketchbook. Overall, pretty pleased with how it turned out. I really wish I had gone with a way of drawing hair that I normally do, because I'm not super satisfied with this, but at the same time it's like, well, there's no fixing this. I've done it this way now. I'm stuck with it. Make the best of it. And considering that, I think it's okay. I do kind of wish there hadn't been this heart. I hadn't put this heart right here, because it's really messing with the silhouette of his hair. Like, It's way too close in color and tone. But, you know, such is life. I added some glitter gold gel pen on some of his details. The Sharpies just don't go over that gel pen very well. Maybe they would if I let it dry a lot longer, but I did give it a minute. And, you know, I touched it, it was dry. It gunked up anything I tried to draw on top of it with, so it's a very highlights only kind of thing as far as my experience has gone so far. But I do like how it allowed me to add little tiny highlights to tiny little sketchbook pages, because that's very difficult to do. I don't think that's too bad. So now this sketchbook is finished, and after this, it's time to start this sketchbook, which I'm very excited for. I really need to get better about filming videos that are time sensitive as soon as possible, because I always get to the end of my sketchbook and I'm like, I need to finish this sketchbook on camera. So I stop using it, and then I'm like, I need to start this sketchbook on camera, and then I don't do it for a long time and I'm not using a sketchbook. It's a problem. I either need to start being better about that or find a solution in the meantime. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, possibly share it with someone else you think would like it. It really helps my channel out so much. You have no idea. With all that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Keep fighting the good fight, and I'll see you next time. Bye.